and get together. This is W4ME, Function Control, all this afternoon. We'll transmit these 3 times weekly. So on at 6 p.m., purposes 3715, every day go Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. currently. We're trying to call around due to band conditions. Again, frequency is 3715. And the net is carried out in the amplitude modulation mode only. Everybody is welcome to join, even though we're focused on vintage gear. As long as you can generate an AM signal, you're welcome. Let's see, what else? It's a great place to look for equipment. Something you want to purchase, something you want to sell, or some information you need on something. It's all here. This is an elevator style. Take check-in. Our proper check-in a couple times during the net when we get to the end of the last time. And then we list. And everybody just make it and pass it on to the next fellow. So let's get started with check-in. But for those who want to participate, WA4 calls. Good afternoon, Charlie. WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
KZ4 Bravo.
WLSW.
WB4NRK. WB4NKL.
WN4 PFI.
WB4NKL. WA4FJQ.
November 4 Alpha Kilo and 4 AK.
It was normally strong as the weekend, right? So we got WA4LLR. John gave us 4OB, lowest order. And on this, it's to you very loud. Buddy, WB4ARK, Cliff WB4NKL, Luke, WN4PFI, Larry, WB4NKM, WA4EVK was a small earlier. And let's see, we got Tom, WA4FJQ, and Glenn, N4AK. Who did I miss? Didn't hear anybody, so I guess I got them on first round. So just make sure you know who you follow and who you pass it to, so we don't get confused. But here we are, the calls one more time, LLR, in the order of force. LTAP, 4 Bravo, 2U, ARK, NKL, PFI, NKM, EVK, FJQ, and Amplitude. Good. Hold on just a second. We're 68 degrees here, overcast. I'm spitting around. I'm trying to get my way. You got about half a look and turn around and look at the drive back. So, pretty much. Anyway, made it back to that. So, remind a lot of you around everybody about the lunch for next Thursday at early time. I will be sending out an email. And also, once again, I want to let everybody know if you have Turner Classic Movies, and I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, but at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, there is a movie called Everybody's Hobby on Classic Movies. He was ham radio when he said that that was an outstanding amount of 1933 years. So if you get a DVR or something like that where you can record it, that would be probably something nice to watch here. I don't have TCM, so I don't see it. Well, you can buy it on eBay, though. So let's get started. WA4LLR of the group, W4MEC.
All right, Charlie, W4MEC and the group, WA4LLR. Good afternoon to all the old friends. Copying everybody. There's some QSB, and signals will be extremely strong 1 minute. There's a big thing, but that's just the way it is. 63 degrees, overcast. We've had rain showers off and on. Running the HQ-110A into the SB220 and receiving on a Hamilton HQ-110A. So those are the conditions here on an unamplified D104. So on down to the city of Pleasant Living. Steve, hope things are well in Shelby. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR, N4LQ. Things are just peachy here in Shelby. A little bit overcast, got a little drizzle, but no real rain. I am also running a T150 and the HQ-110A receiver. Now there's one for you. And the mic is also a D104, but it's amplified and not an unamplified. The antenna is the horizontal loop. The horizontal loop, yeah. And let's see, yeah, I got the message from John about Turner Classic Movies, 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get up 5 a.m. to watch that. I bet you we can find it somewhere else, maybe on YouTube or something. Everybody's Hobby is the name of the movie. Okay, well, hopefully it'll show up somewhere else. So, I guess I will turn it over to John, and I bet I know what he's running. KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group, KZ4B, and you guessed right, Steve. I'm on the T150, just like you are, and yours sounds great. Booming in here, too, by the way. Heavy QS Baker with selective fading on many signals. So the band conditions are fluttering, choppy. And let's see. I am planning on getting up at 5 a.m. I would love to see that. And I may give that a shot because on Monday mornings I don't have anything urgent planned. And maybe I can get up, see the movie, and then go back to sleep. So that's the news from Lake Bewogon. So, Mir, take it away. WF2U in the group, KZ4 Bravo, over.
Roger, KZ4 Bravo in the net. This is WF2U. Good afternoon, everybody. Nice signals all around. A little QSB. Well, if you can call about a 10 dB swing down, 10 to 15 dB swing down, but the peaks are absolutely great, and even 10, 15 dB down does not take anything away from readability. So this afternoon I'm back on the HQ DX100B with the D104 mic, and the receiver is my old National NC300. The antenna is an 80 meter end-fed half wave. And what else? Yeah, here are the reports. Charlie, you are swinging up to, actually I saw you peaking up to 30 over 9. You're averaging about 20 or so. Dave, you 20, averaging 20 over 9. Steve, also 20. and John about 15 overnight, and it's amazing. Once we were on that kick of the LMAC transmitters, now we are on the kick of of the T-150s. Amazing, three check-ins with a T-150. Anyway, I'll give reports. Actually, Glenn, I can give you a report because I heard you before the net when I did some radio checks. You are still holding up about 25, almost 30 dB overnight on peaks. So with that, it goes to buddy. WB4ARK, this is WF2.
WF2U, WB4ARK. Well, everybody's sitting around pretty still this afternoon. Don't have very much QSP here, and we do have some static crashes started. So I wonder if that's impending storm that might be coming this way. Well, I'm not sure that you're going to get anybody up at 5 o'clock in the morning when you can't get anybody up at 8 o'clock to tune in the net. I don't know about that. Well, it's been overcast here all day, and it's looking like possible rain here at any moment. So with that, we'll turn it over to WB4NKL. This is WB4ARK. WB4ARK, WB4NKL. Running on like 67 barefoot, so people might have a little trouble with it. Looks like 40 watts maybe carrier. T-150s are sounding great. Makes me want to get mine on there. I've got one sitting over there that's a nice phone. But all three sound good. I haven't heard anybody on a T60, and that's the transmitter I started out with. I've got one, so I might have to fire one. See what it does on AM. The movie Everybody's Hobby, I typed it in over here on YouTube, and it's playing over here right now. So you don't have to wait till 5 o'clock to see it. It's a 54-minute movie, and 1939 it says. It looks like there's several hobbies involved, but one of them is ham radio. It didn't rain here today. They kept on calling for rain, but I got the rock in, and just a few sprinkles is all we had. We could use some rain. It's getting kind of dry around here again. So I'll send it on the box in for PFI, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, this is WN for PFI. I don't know if anybody else is hearing some bonging on frequency, but who knows, maybe that's my receiver. We've had about 2/3 of an inch of rain here in Suches today. It's 63 degrees. It's been rather cool lately. We've had 50s at night. Back at the middle, we had some 40s here. We typically have some temps like that in late May and even into the middle of June, so that's just what we have to get used to here. On the T-150 sound great, guys. I used to have one back a few years ago and moved it up to a guy in Tennessee. And also had the matching R100 that I picked up from Lyle down in Toccoa. But had a guy up there in Tennessee that wanted the match pair, so I let that go. On that movie, my wife and I have YouTube TV. We're able to look ahead and save movies. So I'll look that one up when I get off here and go ahead and save it. Won't have to get up at 5 o'clock. We can watch it anytime after that. Once we save a movie, we can watch it up to like 90 days. So don't know if anybody else has that or not. Let's see, Cliff. Larry, up to you. WB4N King and this WF4PFI. Go ahead and take it.
Thank you, Doe. Again, 4 PFI from WB4NKM. Larry up in Wise, Virginia. Everybody's sounding good up here. I've got that QSB going on, but most of the signals are pretty strong. And we've got 64 degrees, mostly cloudy. Just a few sprinkles on the outside of my QTH here toward town. I went out to the dumpster this morning, and I got a little on the windshield. But nothing out of the house. That was kind of strange. It sure doesn't look like it's going to come any time. So I think all of us got about the same weather. Running a Johnson Ranger around here, riding a Maratron 811 amplifier with 572 blades, and receiving on a HQ-110A. Antenna's in-fed half wave. Not much going on, just trying to relax today. So turn it on to you, Ben. WA4 EVK Brown Rifle T150s are all sounding good up here. Also, WA4 EVK to take it. WB4NKM. WB4NKM in the group. WA4 EVK. Sorry about the audio, guys. I'm running a Yaesu 891 into a Drake amplifier this afternoon. I'm moving the rigs around, and I had a near miss and lightning that scrambled the brain on the Yaesu, and I had to do a master reset, so I lost my audio setting. And I won't keep it long. I'm having pretty severe QSB from time to time. And I'm going to send it on down to FJQ, W4EDK. WA4FJQ, you're up, Tom. WA4,
Okay, thanks, Charlie. WA4EVK, this is WA4FJQ. I'm sorry I couldn't copy Boone. He started out fairly strong and then just faded into nothing. So couldn't hear when he turned it over to me. Name here, Tom, High Point. QSB is giving me a lot of trouble. Most of the stations are really strong, but a couple of them, Mir, WF2U, and Doak, PFI, just faded down into the mud. But at any rate, the rig here is AF68 feeding the signal over to a Tintec Centurion and receiving on a 75 S3 Collins. As I said, the QSB is giving me trouble, but everybody else sounds really good, really strong, up and down. Let me turn it over to Glenn, N4AK. This is WA4FJQ, over.
Okay, Tom. WA4FJQ, November 4 Alpha Kilo, where the band is strange. Signals will go completely out, and then they'll go up 15 over 9, a lot of them. And I have absolutely no copy on Boone. 8 miles away. So that's the way it goes today. Temperature at sunset is 72 degrees cloudy. We've had some large showers this afternoon. John, I don't know if he's listening. Anyone think he may not be listening, but I picked up a SB221, and I know that Dave is running SB221, but it didn't have much time on it, but the guy didn't do a very good job. So, and it's about a 1980 version, so I've ordered Harbot caps for it. And of course the mod, so I can interface with the solid state. Doak is super strong here this afternoon.
And Doak, I don't know if you know that Lyle and the current was a solid P. He passed away maybe over a month ago, so I didn't know if you knew that. So let's see. That about does it for me. And band conditions are strange. So back to net control. W4MEC and 4AK.
Hey Glenn, very good in 4AK and the old friends, W4MEC. Good round number one. Do we have any people that would like to join us? Come now. Okay, nothing heard. That was a good round, good copy on everybody. I did note the QSB up and down, mostly affecting the stations closest to me. Well, that's the way it works here. And Doak, I also heard those beep tones. I don't know what that was, but somebody was beeping or doing something there. Maybe some kind of newfangled tune-up device. Boone, you're weak here too, and interesting. You said you were going through a Drake amplifier, but is it putting out anything? That'd be question number one. Let's see. And yeah, Glenn, you said you couldn't copy Doak and Boone, and that used to be a common thing with me with Harry Mills, just 5 miles away. Most of the time, I could not copy him, and I would have to go to my vertical antenna to listen to him to see what he had to say. But he was that happened more often than not too, kind of independent of what the ionosphere was doing. But the ground wave between me and him was somewhat suspect. I don't know what kind of antenna he had, and I was using my dipole here, and it's kind of broadside to where he lived, but yeah, he would be down in the mud, unreadable at times. So, and just being that close away on 75 meters. So, let's see. What else? I got any other notes here? Nope. So let's try one more time. WA4LLR and the group W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie. W4MEC, WA4LLR. All right, copy to everybody. The QSB is pretty wicked, but still not really an issue. What are the odds of the first 3 check-ins all be running T150s? That's pretty amazing. And Steve and I both running the same receiver with the T150. The probability of this is pretty high, pretty low. Let's see here. Buddy, I imagine you're on the ART-13. It sounds good. And Cliff, you're very strong with the F-67 barefoot. And I heard the boinging noise or whatever it is as well here. But, Tom, your F-68 sounds really good. So other than the QSB, everybody's doing a great job. I mentioned Ray was having spinal surgery this week. He just got home today. He said they put in 2 steel rods, 8 steel screws, did some bone fusion, and enlarged the hole in the bones where the nerves go. Sorry. So be praying for him for as he recovers from this. And he's up and around, but it's going to take a little while to get back to full speed. Let's see, as far as space weather goes today, the sunspot count's pretty high, 194. Solar flux index is 188, and the K is 1.67, so not bad conditions. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1953, Queen Elizabeth II was crowned. On this day in 1904, Johnny Weissmuller was born. A lot of us remember him as he played Tarzan. On this day, 1997, Timothy McVeigh was found guilty of murder and conspiracy in the death of 168 people in the Oklahoma City bombing. On this day in 1886, Frances Folsom married President Grover Cleveland in the White House. She became the youngest First Lady in America at age 21.
and that's about the size of it, not a whole lot more. And Steve, I'm assuming I have Thursdays this month. Correct me if I'm wrong. So now to you, N4LQ, WA4LL.
Yeah, you're on Thursday. Who did you say had surgery, Dave?
Ray, W4VRO.
Oh, okay, W4VRO. Yeah, you took a fade or something right when you said that. A little bit of selective fading going on. Well, let's see. Cliff is the one with the boing sound, and he's in that metal building. I wonder if a Boeing 747 was flying over. Anyway, so much for that one. The movie is on YouTube. Just type in, you don't have to have any kind of account, just go to YouTube and put in the name of that movie. Everybody's Hobby. Yeah, Everybody's Hobby. And it's a comedy. It's not technical or anything. It's just a comedy, and it's ham radio happens to be in it. Let's see here, what else? A T60, a Nikit T60. That thing always had trouble on CW, but I don't think I have heard one on AM. Anyhow, this screen modulation works out pretty well. The only downside to screen modulation is lower power output from the same size of tube and power supply, and you're relying on PEP to get you done. But the T150 has a pair of 6146s, so it'll put out twice as much power as, say, a DX60, and you can get over 20 watts carrier out of these, whereas a DX60 you're limited to about 10. That's about it. However, if you're driving an amplifier, it really doesn't matter, because I've got to throttle this baby back to keep the power down on the amplifier. Signal strengths are interesting. Charlie was extremely weak at first when you called the net, Charlie, but now you're back up, and Dave was down and he's back up, and the strongest, loudest, I guess, was Tom FJQ. So there's some kind of a QSB cloud floating around out there, as they say. So let's see, do I have anything else worth a hoot? Guess not. Over to you, John, KZ4B, N4LQ.
N4LQ, this is KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, Steve. Booming in as usual. Really are. I mean to tell you, you and Steve, you and Tom are winning the prize for the strongest signals, and Larry's coming in pretty darn strong too. But the QS Baker is pretty darn serious. It's worse than I have seen it in some time. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of selective fading. I picked up an AM/FM table model radio in a little walnut cabinet. It's a Tivoli Audio model, and it's about the size of the Palstar PR30, and it has the audio of a decent stereo receiver set with good speakers. And I was just on the internet looking. I paid $30 for it. It was mint, works perfectly, and they're $180, $178 close enough. And what a catch! Neat sounding little thing. And at the Raleigh Ham Fest. So enough of that kind of gloating. For some reason, my T150 is not kicking up like it was when I first got on. Or maybe it just responds better to a good woof. That may be the case. But all the T150s sound quite good. And I was reading an article in the radio handbook. They were talking about screen grid modulation and said that if you use the clamp tube, which is what most of these screen modulator transmitters use, like the Heath 60 and the 40 and the T150, it says that if it's properly adjusted, that it is impossible to go negative. That was interesting, which would help explain why you get such a positive peak relative to the negative peak. But I'm just a believer that screen grid modulation and linear amplifiers just go together beautifully. And, you know, in the old days, like Steve says, they don't put out much, but when you run it through an amplifier, it's a whole different story. So I have rambled on enough, Mir, and I'm having a hard time copying you, Mir, but it's not your fault. It's just the QS Baker for some stations is just nasty today. WF2U in the group KZ, 4 Bravo, over.
All right, KZ 4 Bravo. The this is WF2U. Yeah, now I'm going to be a little bit weaker. And by the way, John, you flew me in here. You are not fully overnight. I have to switch over to the Heath Comanche transmitter. The DX100 has been one of the taking, and this used to be GMK4DEs. I bought it from him like maybe 5-6 years ago, and he did a 3D system in it using 3 relays. So I think one of the relays after a while that was necessary, it was not open. So I could get it to receive because either the VFO was on and that's another relay and low stations, so it could be one of the relays. Relay also well, so I have to turn it over, which is easy. It's out of the case anyway. Inside and start checking. But that was the problem. So I turned on the Cheyenne receiver and the Heath Comanche compound, and that's going up from about 60 watt speed. It's almost like, it's very similar in circuit to the DX60, the modulation system. It's the same control carrier modulation as the DX60. But again, I copy everybody, like the gate was Boom was weak, but copyable. I never heard Boom this weak before. But no problem whatsoever. So let's go ahead, buddy. It's in fuel. So WB4ARK, this is WFU.
WF2U, WB4ARK. Well, Mira, almost lost you there at the end. Your signal is extremely low now. And I thought I was going to completely lose you. I had my headphones on. I don't think I could have copied you without them. Well, there's a dark cloud up to the north of us, and I think there's something brewing up in that direction. And because the static crashes are continuing to increase a little bit. Well, I think the bang sound came when Cliff came on with his transmitter. I think it was coming from his transmitter, and so we'll see on this next round. And thanks, Charlie, for doing the net. I appreciate you calling the net. And so I'm not signing. I'm just saying that now so I can get it in before it's too late, or before I lose track of what's going on here. Well, let's see. Dave, I will be looking for you on Thursday. I do plan to come to the luncheon on Thursday. So hopefully we will be able to meet, and I'll be able to get the equipment. So let's see what else. Well, I guess that's about it for right now. So we'll turn it over to Cliff and see how his signal sounds now. WB4NKL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL. Okay, not sure about the volume, son. I know these air maps have got a total when you unkey, but I haven't ever noticed the key up going. But could be something he was talking about. The only thing I've done different with this 67 is I slid it back in the case. I've run it before. So not sure about that. But I know about that, except Bone had a little trouble with him, and I copied, was having trouble with Mir on the last transmission. It was solid the first transmission, but kind of weak here on the last one. So not much else here. Like I say, it's could use some rain, and I don't think they're actually calling for much till about Wednesday now. They keep on adjusting their forecast. Oh, send it on around. Go ahead, Boone. Did I bone that time? WM4 PFIs, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, WM4PFI returning. Maybe Cliff, I didn't hear it on this end. I wasn't sure it was really coming from your transmitter before. I thought perhaps someone was just playing around with the frequency, but didn't hear anything copying just fine. I found except from here. He disappeared on me down here in Suches. And Glenn, yes, I was aware that Ronald had passed away. I guess I got that to receiver from him back maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I kept it for a while. Yeah, it was sad news to hear about him being a silent key. I didn't mention the rig here is still a DX60. Yeah, and it's only about 10 watts, but I do run it into a Warrior amplifier, and I'm getting about 310 watts out on voice peaks. And the receiver is a National NC173, and the antenna is still just a flat top at about 40 feet, fed with a ladder line. Yeah, the storms, it was very noisy about 3 o'clock. I didn't know if I was going to be on here or not. I haven't been on here, I think, the last 2 or 3 weeks because we've had all these static crashes up, storms sitting around so closely. It was not favorable to get on here, so I sort of missed being on. But I'm looking at everybody else. Charlie, I'll probably leave. I'm going to listen to the end of the round, but I'll probably get out of here. I'm starting to get a little bit more static crashes here, but I'll be listening to the end. So Larry, up to you, WB4NKN, this WN4PFI. I'll be clear after this round is over. Good afternoon, guys.
Okay. WN4PFI, okay, though. That's WB4NKM. Well, that DX60 sure does sound good. I was going to pick Charlie out as the strongest signal up here in Virginia, but all of you have came up, and I can't, it's just like a photo finish up here. Everybody's sounding great. There is some QSB going on and some static. I was going to tell Bonnie that black cloud must be over my house. I'm hearing a lot of pretty strong static crashes. I looked at the radar before I got on and I didn't see anything, so I may not have nothing. It may be over in Kentucky. I get a lot of storms knocked off of me from these power lines between me and Kentucky. Good to be in here this evening with everybody. I haven't been able to make it lately, so it's kind of a treat to get in here. Cliff, the LMAC 67 is sounding real good up here. I think that was it was a carrier. What I detected, somebody might have been not realizing I was on the net frequency and working on the rig. So it sounded like a carrier that was just wobbling a little bit. So back down to you, Boone, WA4EBK from WB4NKN. WB4NKN in the group, WA4EBK. Hope y'all can, I hope I got a little better signal this time. I switched my antenna to a different antenna. Got a lot better receive signal, so let's hope it's reciprocal and everything. Have a good evening, Doug. I'm glad to talk to you. I hadn't talked to you on the air in a while. I thought I heard somebody talking about a T60 in there. I have used one on AM before. Oh, wow. They do much better on AM than they do on CW. On CW, they were pretty chirpy. But that was my first 6-meter station back in the early 70s. I put one of those on the transmitter and a converter, and I don't even remember what receiver, and away we went. So with that, I'm going to send it over for WA4FJQ, take it, WA4EBK.
WA4EBK, this is WA4FJQ. Okay, thanks, Boone. I copy you. Now, you're not real strong, but I'm not just sitting here listening to noise as before, so that's a better antenna. But everybody's up and down all over the place. I can't copy meter at all. I don't even know that he's there. And a couple of the other stations the same way, sort of up and down and then dropping down into the mud. But not much else to comment on here. I've been working on a little software-defined radio kit about the size of a cigar box, and you have to do a little bit of surface mount work on it to modify the thing for an additional board. So it's like working with a flea and it'll drive you crazy trying to see the thing and get it sorted in place and all that kind of good stuff. But we got it coming along. It's not working completely as it should, but it's getting there. Weather here is just overcast and a little sprinkle or two, but nothing much. We hope we get some rain here. We're getting dry too. So, at any rate, I'll turn it over to Glenn, N4AK. This is WA4FJQ.
Okay, Tom. WA4FJQ, High Point, November 4 Alpha Kilo. Well, at the beginning of this round, I had the strangest thing. I have 3 antennas that I can use here on 80 meters. A doublet, a full-size doublet for 80 meters. I have a in-fed half-wave with an inverted L configuration. And I have an inverted V off my tower. I'm on the inverted V now. I don't know how the transmission is, but it cleared up all the receiving. Everybody's signal is just about 15 over 9. Very, very little QSB. I wasn't even copying Boone or Mir very well, and bingo, their signals are there. So the propagation has a lot to do with how your antennas are, fellas. I've been in this business a long time, but there's a dramatic difference today in the other antennas and the inverted V. Let's see. I was looking on the spotting network, and there's a little country within Italy. It's not the Vatican, but it's a little place called San Marino. SANMARINO. So San Marino is on 20 meters, if anybody sees San Marino. I was just looking on the spotting network. That's kind of a rare little independent country to work. Sorry to hear about Ray having the surgery. I usually keep up with him. I hadn't heard from him, and I didn't know what was going on. So anyway, I don't know if anybody else has had the opportunity to be able to switch antennas easily or not, but it's interesting when I've switched them, it's just like night and day for the inverted V. And it takes about three more watts to drive the linear to get the same output, so whatever that means. So it's enjoyable working you fellas this afternoon. So Charlie, I'll go back to you, and thanks for calling the net. Before MEC and 4AK.
Very good, Glenn, N4AK, W4MEC. Real good. Well, we'll do a 73 round here. We got 10 minutes to go. And let's see. Let me just stand by one. I heard somebody tuning up. Let me see if he wants to join in. Late check-ins that would like to go through the 73 round rules. Come now. That didn't hurt a thing. It's funny that Bing Bong, I heard it on Buddy the last time, but that might have been something in his shot. But I can't remember if it was the same Bong or not, Boeing or whatever. But I did not hear it on Cliff. So let's see a couple of comments. Yeah, the 6146 is somewhat of a strange bird, I guess in Class C, because, in the DX60, you get about 15 watts of carrier, and then you modulate it up with the screen grid modulation. But in a Motorola VHF radio, like a tube type, one 6146 gives you 30 watts out on 6 meters. And I can't remember, I think it's 25 on 2, I can't remember. And 2 give you 60, and of course that's FM, and if you modulate it, you probably overdrive them a little bit, but still, just sitting there resting carrier with 16146 key down is 30 watts on 6 meters. So I don't know if they can be DX60 or whatever can be modified to give you a stronger resting carrier or not. I've got a Seneca 2 meter, 2 and 6 meter. It does both bands Seneca, and it'll do 100 watts out on CW on 6 meters, but it's control carrier, and the resting carrier is like 8 watts. And 8 to 10 watts is what you can get out of that thing. And I actually have a plate modulator for it. and I just need to bring out the B+, the plate circuit B+ to the back panel so I can put the modulator in and see what she'll do there. And I'm sure it'll do a lot better on 6 and 8 watts of control carrier modulation. So, and let's see. I also had a T150 I got from Harold many years ago, and it needed a lot of work. I fixed it all up and everything, got it going. I think I had it on this net at one time, and I sold it, and I don't have a clue who I sold it to. So it's out there somewhere. I also got the R55 receiver with it. Now, that was a piece of work there with the way that thing operated, and was glad to get rid of that receiver, but that would have been 4 T150s, I guess. But anyway, long gone. All right, so let's do 73 rounds. And don't forget, lunch this coming Thursday and the net 8 a.m. on Tuesday with, I guess it sounds like Steve will be master of ceremony. So WA4 LLR on the 73 round, W4MEC.
All righty, W4MEC, WA4LLR. Real good. Well, let's see. Buddy, good deal on the Thursday lunch. Lord willing, we'll be there. And the boinging, I heard on several signals on that first round. I didn't hear it on the second round. And Boone, you really came up strong that last go round. And Steve, I just had a thought. On Thursday, when I come to the lunch and I have to, well, no, we're at 8 o'clock this time. It won't be an issue. Forget it. I was about to say, you'll have to do it for me or something, but nope, we're at 8 o'clock instead of 9, so no sweat. All righty, not much more here. Enjoyed it, and hope everybody has a good rest or a good week, and keep Ray in your prayers as he recovers, and Lord willing, we'll see you Thursday morning. So, N4LQ. WA4LLR. Take care.
WA4LLR N4LQ. Well, this BFO and this T150 is hanging right in there. Pretty close to frequency. So, yeah, we'll be praying for Ray. And I do want to say a little more about this screen modulation, or aka control carrier, which is about the same thing because they both control the carrier. The deal is, it really seems to me like the audio quality has more potential to sound good with the low level modulation, because there's no driver and no modulation transformer in there to degrade your audio, and that transformers are notorious for causing that. So that along with a good linear amplifier does indeed make a good combination, as John so stated. My Lasco 600, it's got an 807, and it is a, well, I don't know what you'd call it, modulation, but man, that thing only puts out about 3 or 5 watts. But the AF54 LMAC has an 807, and it puts out 30 watts, but it's plate modulated. So that's the whole thing about plate modulation. And Mir, mirror switch from a DX100, so he was probably putting out close to 100 watts or so, and then he went to that Cheyenne, which is similar to DX60, and he was doing good to put out about 8 watts. Hence the reason for the weak signal, I would say. And I didn't hear any boinging on any signals here. So the boinger is dead. 73s everybody, and we'll see y'all Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. And of course tonight we'll be on 160, 1864, yakking away. We've been using sideband, but you know, I've got a fairly small crowd, but we'd love to have anybody that can make it. Let's see, KZ4B, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group KZ4B wasn't quick enough on the knobs here. I need to add a TR relay to kill the speakers on my PR30. It does the mute, but there's enough RF getting in it, plus with the synchronous detector, that goes crazy. So at the Xenia Hamfest, I picked up a gazillion contact 12-volt relay that I plan on using to interrupt all the speakers for both the SE3 and the PR30, plus mute the PR30. And hopefully I won't have to be so quick on the knobs, because that's a total aggravation. Amen to what you said, Steve. By the way, this PR30 has a super stingy S meter, and you're coming in 10 to 20 over, and which is for that quite phenomenal. And also, Tom, you always come in quite strong. You're in High Point, so we're not too far apart. So it must be a sweet spot distance. You come in pretty close to that. And usually Cliff booms in here. But the last couple of times, Cliff, you have not been as strong as you normally are. So anyway, shifting gears, thanks for calling Annette, Charlie. Enjoyed it immensely. And look forward to Tuesday's schedule if I can be up by 8. And I'm going to either, we get YouTube TV, so I'm going to see if we can't get that station or that movie, Everybody's Hobby, without having to get up at 5, but if necessary, I will. So, Mir, if you can hear me, and I'm not hearing you very well, take it away. WF2U and the group KZ4B, clear but listening.
Roger, KZ4B, this is WF2U. John, you're 20 to 25 over the over at night, and everybody's coming into a gate. The old person who was under a slider, who 7. Everybody's like anywhere between 16 to 25, and even 30 dB overnight. I have absolutely no problem stopping everybody. And Steve is not quite correct, and this thing power up so much measured. Carrier will not modulate any cellular out of the Cheyenne, and on peak it goes up to 41 peak. 41 peak, so the average output is probably about, let's say, about 30. between 25, 30 watts maybe. I don't have I didn't have an reading meter here, but just a regular average meter when I'm looking at the feed. Never got 8 out of this. It's 10 watt resting current, resting power, carrier power. Anyway, I'll hopefully this week I'll have some time I'll check the relays in the DX100, see which one is sticky. And hopefully I have a replacement and I don't have to wait to order something. Anyway, thanks, Charlie, for hopefully, I don't know about the luncheon, see if I can get away, I'm not sure, maybe, but that's always just sketchy again on the luncheon. So, 73 everybody, and another comment, Steve, I don't think I'll be able to come here come up at 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock now, by the time I guess I take care of the dogs with the dinners and all that, I might not be able to make it by 8 o'clock. So, anyway, 73, I'll take care, and buddy, if you can, I hope you copy me. W4ARK, this is WFU.
Okay, Mir. You were barely copyable there, but I did get you at the end. So the storm is getting closer. It died down a little bit. Now it's coming back. And a lightning strike at 25 miles. And so it's getting closer. Much closer. 12 miles out. So I think I'll say 73. And yes, Dave, I am running the LT13. So 73 everyone, and we'll look forward to Tuesday. This is WB4ARK signing over to WB4NKL. Over. WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL. Okay, yeah, buddy. Good copy on the moon that last go around. And I copied mine. Pretty good, I guess, conditions. Maybe improving a little bit. Say 73. And, thanks for calling, Charlie and John. I'm running less power here than normal, so that might be the reason you're not copying me as well. It's running about 40 watts or 35 watts a carrier. So 73s, and we'll look for everybody Tuesday. Go ahead, WN4PFI, it's WB4NKL. I believe he signed out, Cliff. WB4NKL from WB4NKM. Well, when you switched antennas, Glenn, onto the inverted V, I wasn't, there was some QSB, but that antenna is a keeper, I'll say that, and I'd say you figured that out already. It's doing a great job up this way, and Boone, when he switched antennas, same thing, it's sounding great up here. Enjoyed being in here this evening with you fellas. We look forward to see if we can make it Tuesday morning. Say 73s to everybody, and I hope everybody has a good week. WB4NKM. WB4NKM is a group. WB4NKM.
Ray, there must be something going on here because I also switched to a rural that makes Glenn having about the same results. This thing was trying to roll up here. He's not that far roll when he went to inverted L. I'm going to get on out of here. I think we're on borrowed time for all the storm-related stuff, so I believe Tom is still in there. I'm going to send it down his way. WA4FJQ, WA4EBK.
WA4EBK, this is WA4FJQ. Okay, thanks, Boone. Yeah, copy you fine. Larry, you're booming in here from Virginia. But the QSB has been a problem. Some stations pin the S meter and then they drop down to zero. I never could copy you're just gone. But anyway, enjoyed the net, and we will say 73s. Charlie, thanks for calling the net. You're good and strong here. The tutor hasn't made it here yet, but I'm sure it's on its way. So I'm going to turn it over to Glenn and say 73s to everybody. N4EK, this is WA4FJQ. Over and out.
Okay, Tom. WA4FJQ, point in 4AK. Well, the last part of this thing was very enjoyable after I switched antennas. So, Larry, thank you for that signal report on the switchover. I don't know how the transmission is, but none of the reception trouble and cut out all the QSB just about. It's amazing. So you never know, but it's always nice that you can just have a switch there and switch 3 different antennas on a frequency. That's eye-opening. I'll have to admit, my age is catching up with me yesterday. I worked on a little 2-meter rig trying to program it so it hit the repeater. And I took it all apart and I worked on it. I went and have a cup of coffee and I came back. Always take a break when you stop. And I said, well, how about that? I had a pigtail on the antenna, but the antenna wasn't hooked up. So there you go. I'm just happy to still be kicking. All right, it's been very enjoyable this afternoon. W4MEC and Group 73 and 40K.
Okay, fellas, N4AK and the old friends, W4MEC. Real good. Thanks for everybody that participated today. And again, remember, 8 o'clock Tuesday morning. And I don't know if, Steve, you're going to do the sideband, vintage sideband net, but remember 7:30, the fellas start showing up. So usually, but maybe not tonight. I hope to participate, but I'm waiting for a connector to hook my sideband adapter to my Apache. So I don't know what happened to the original ones I had back there, but they're gone. So I must be using them somewhere else. So anyway, 730. We'll see you later. W4MEC shutting down the old friends net. Bye-bye.